Now that we have added a table into our project, the next thing that I want to do is I want to add a chart. So I'm going to go to the Tools palette, pull down, and I'm going to select from one of the presets. We do have a number of options, and I really like 3D charts. Now my chart is going to be very simple. It's only going to be the three colors, red, green, and blue. So I'm going to choose a pie chart. But let's try different color schemes to see if there's anything that would work to what I want. These color schemes are not exactly what I want. What I want to do is I want to actually make them red, green, and blue. So I'm going to go with this option here, which is a little bit more colorful. Just by clicking on it, we get a chart added with some dummy data in here. So the way we're going to work with this chart is that first we're going to find its final location and its size and its properties in terms of the dimensions. And later we're going to go and add the actual values for the red, green, and blue channels. So first, let's find its final location by dragging it. I'm going to put it over here. You can see it's pretty large. It's overlapping our table. So I'm going to drag one of the corners down. That little dotted line means that it's resizing proportionally, which is exactly what I want. Now let me move it to the left until I see the ruler. That means that everything is being aligned. Perfect. Now let's go and take a look at the properties for this chart. So for that, I'm in the format inspector for the chart. The colors, we're going to modify them one by one. So let me just scroll down. What I need to do is I disclose the 3D scene. And one of the values that I want to change is the depth of the chart. I want to make it a bit more dramatic by making it deeper or larger. So now it looks like more like a larger object. Another thing that I can do is I can grab the object itself and rotate it in the 3D space. Just to give you an idea, what we're going to do with this chart is we're going to have an animation happening so that the red channel flies in and that the wedge for the red channel draws at the same time. So we're going to do that later, but just to give you an idea of what we're going to do in terms of graphics or animation, that will also help us decide what to do with the actual location. Let's take a look at the different kinds of lighting. It really just changes where the light source is coming from. And I'm going to click on Show Bevels to get a little bit better highlighting between the wedges. Let's go and change the data. So I'm going to click on Edit Data. This particular chart has more colors than what we need. So I'm going to select some of these columns. From the pull-down menu, I'm going to choose Delete Columns. And what I was doing there, I was just shift-clicking on the column colors. That will select everything in the column. And then from the pull-down menu, I'm going to choose Delete Columns. Perfect. So now we have 3 columns. The colors are not what we want yet, but we're going to change that in a minute. This is going to be percentage. So now that I've entered the data, I'm going to close the window. And the last thing that I'm going to do here is change the wedge colors. So I'm going to go onto wedges, select each one of the wedges. In this case, this is my red channel. I'm going to change the color of the wedge by going into the Style tab. And with the current wedge selected from the Field pull-down menu, I'm going to choose a color. So this is going to be red. The 14% is going to be green, so I don't need to change that. And the 18% is going to be blue. So I'm going to select 18%, and from the pop-up menu, I'm going to go and highlight blue. That blue is actually semi-transparent, so that's not what I wanted. There we go. So now we've added a very nice chart to our project. If anything, I'm just going to drag it up a little bit so that there's more space in between the chart and the bottom of our slide.